25 plus 60, that is June 24. So, third row natin, June 24, nag-submit si taxpayer. So, tama din. Last day siya nag-submit. So, okay lang. Pasok sa timeline. And then, with no response received from BIR, the taxpayer filed its appeal with the CTA noong January 20. So, basically, merong indirect denial. Tama ba, class? Kapag indirect denial, 180 days from submission of documents plus 30. Okay? Yung appeal sa CTA. So, that's 210 days. Pag bibilangin mo yan, meron siya hanggang January 20, 2025 para mag-appeal sa CTA. So, ibig sabihin, tama lang yung ginawa ni taxpayer. On time siya. Nasa last day siya. So, ibig sabihin, si taxpayer, sumunod naman siya sa process. Number 36, which of the following is correct? Punta ka sa letter C. The taxpayer followed the appropriate protest process. So, letter C for number 36. Number 37, which of the following is correct regarding January 20, 2025 appeal with the CTA? Letter A, sagot natin dyan. The CIR is given 180 days. Okay, from submission of supporting documents to act on the protest. Since no decision was received, the taxpayer may file an appeal within 30 days or until January 20. So that's 210 days sa number 37. Number 38, which of the following is not an incentive by BMBE? Ang hindi incentive dito ay yung letter C. Hindi sila exempt from SSS and PhilHealth contribution. So letter C for number 38. 39 and 40, tingin kayo dito, ito naman ay private educational institution. So usually sila ay tax at 10% preferential income tax rate. Kaya lang, tingnan natin. Kasi ang nangyari dito, sa numbers 39 and 40, so tingnan natin yung given. Merong gross receipts sa related activities na 15 million. And then, sa unrelated naman, mas mataas actually yan pag kinompute mo. Yung gross receipts ay 18 million. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung unrelated sa related, even though private education institution yan, taxable na siya as regular corporation. So, gagawin ko dyan, class, add natin lahat ng gross receipts sa related 15, unrelated 18, so that's 33 million. Yung cost sa related 6, cost sa unrelated 5, so that's 11. Allowable deductions sa related, sa unrelated 3 to 50, sa unrelated is 2 million, so that's 5 to 50,000. Net taxable income mo is 16,750. Again, taxable as regular corporation times 25%. Income tax due is 418,750. Pero huwag mo isasagot yan. Nasa choices yan. Ang tanong sa atin is income tax payable. May given sa atin ng income tax payments for the first 3 quarters, 2 million. Ibig sabihin, class, income tax payable to 187,500. Letter C for number 39. Number 40, how much is the output VAT, if any? Private education institution yan. So, VAT exempt yan. Okay? Kahit ba naging taxable as regular corporation, income tax sa pinag-uusapan doon. Yung output VAT, business tax naman yan. Hindi magmamatter yung predominance test dito. Okay? Output VAT natin is letter A for number 40. 0 or exempt sila. Number 41, which of the following is excluded from gross estate? A, C, and D, lahat yan included. Yung B excluded. Amount received as compensation for personal injuries. Kasi kapag compensatory form, hindi yan taxable. So letter B tayo for number 41. Number 42, income received during marriage from exclusive property. So take note, galing sa exclusive, is generally included in the gross estate. Kapag conjugal partnership of gains, lahat ng gains na yan, kahit saan galing, exclusive or conjugal, conjugal yan. Alright? So, tama yung number 1. Conjugal property under CPG. Ngayon, number 2 naman, community property under ACP. Mali yan. Kasi ang gagawin mo dyan is follow mo yung source. Galing siya sa exclusive, yung income nun or yung fruits nun ay magiging exclusive. So, mali yung number 2 kasi community yung nakalagay. Okay? So, only 1 is correct. Letter A for number 42. Number 43, the CIR may not inquire into bank deposits of a taxpayer. Yun yung general rule natin. Ang exception dyan sa bank secrecy law ay letter B, offers to compromise. So kapag compromise na ang reason is financial incapacity, ayan, dapat i-waive natin yung bank secrecy law, letter B yan. Sige. So 44 onwards, ito yung solution natin. Okay, ito yung mixed income taxpayer. Okay, Z earns an annual salary of 1.5 million. Ito siya, gross compensation income 1.5. Pero nandyan daw, inclusive of 13-month and other benefits, 80,000, mandatory SSS contributions of 3.5 and PhilHealth na 2,000. So tinanggal ko muna yung SSS and PhilHealth, 3.5 plus 2,000, 5.5. Ngayon, kasama din dyan, class, yung 13-month and other benefits. Nandun na daw yan sa 1.5 million. Okay? Ang exempt natin is 90. Maximum yung 90. 80 lang naman yung 13th month and other benefits, so minus 80 tayo. Taxable compensation income, 1414500. Okay, doon naman tayo sa business income. Aside from employment income, she owns a VAT-registered convenience store. Take note, VAT-registered. Okay? So, gross sales na 3 million, minus sales discount of 300, minus sales returns and allowances 150, minus cost of sales 1 million, minus OPEX na 600, plus other non-operating income 100, makukuha mo yung business income na 1,050,000. Okay? Add mo yan, yung total taxable income is 2,464,500. Punta ka dun sa number 45 muna. How much is the total net taxable income? 2,464,500. So, number 45, letter D yung sagot natin. Balik tayo sa number 44. Can Z avail of the 8% income tax rate? Okay sana, kaya lang may nakalagay na VAT registered. Kapag VAT registered, hindi ka pwede mag 8%. Letter C. No, because she is VAT registered. Number 46. How much naman daw yung income tax payable? So, remember, meron tayong total taxable income na 2,464,500. Hindi ka pwede mag 8%, therefore tax table tayo. So, papasok yan dun sa 402,500 plus 30% in excess of 1 million. So, income tax due natin is 541,850. Take note, hindi yun yung tanong. Even though nasa choices siya. Ang tanong sa atin is income tax payable. I-minus mo yung given na payments dyan na 300. Income tax payments na 300. Income tax payable natin is 241,850. Letter A tayo for number 46. How much is the output VAT? Siyempre, may output VAT yan kasi VAT registered ka. And take note, pag output VAT, i-minus mo lahat ng sales returns and allowances. Ang ginawa ko dyan, net sales tayo. So, gross sales na 3 million, minus sales discount na 300, minus sales returns and allowances na 150, makukuha mo dyan 2,550. Times sa 12% na VAT, 306,000. Sagot natin for number 47 is letter B, 306,000 na VAT. Okay, so 46 onwards, back to remedies tayo. So, the following events occurred. So, bullet number 1, a taxpayer filed his income tax return on April 30, 2021, covering the taxable year 2020. Siyempre, may late filing dyan. Punta ka sa number 48. The right of the BIR to assess will prescribe after 3 years, okay, from actual filing or deadline for filing, whichever is later. Ang deadline is April 15. Ang actual is April 30, 2021, plus 3 years tayo. April 30, 2024, yan yung prescription period ni BIR to assess, letter C. April 30, 2024 for number 48. Doon tayo sa bullet number 2. The BIR issued a FAN on July 1, 2023, which was received by a taxpayer on July 15, 2023. Punta ka dun sa number 49, the right of the BIR to collect. Yung prescription to collect is 5 years from the issuance of FAN, July 1, 2023 plus 5, July 1, 2028. Sagot natin, letter C for number 49. Okay, back to bullet number 3, the taxpayer challenged the assessment. Was able to file a written request for investigation on July 31, 2023. Okay, punta ka doon sa number 50. The taxpayer shall submit all supporting documents. 60 days yan from date of protest. So, 60 days, July 31, 2023 plus 60 days, September 29, 2023. Letter C, yung last day of submission of documents natin, September 29, 2023. 51. Assuming the CIR has failed to render a decision on the protest within the prescribed period, what is the remedy available for the taxpayer? So basically, meron ka ditong indirect denial. So A, he may await the decision. Pwede ka naman maghintay. And then kapag may result, within 30 days, file ka ng protest kay CTA or mag-appeal ka kay CTA. Or kapag nag-expire yung 180 days, meron kang 30 days to appeal sa CTA division or a maximum of 210. Pwede yung A or B. Letter C tayo. Either A or B for number 51. 52 onwards. So, tignan natin class. Yung 52 onwards natin, ang solution natin is this one. Okay, Mr. X bought 5,000 shares of GHI Corporation, a domestic non-listed. Take note, hindi listed. At par value of 1,000 per share. Computing natin class yung par value, 5,000 times 1,000. Lagay mo dyan, 5 million yung cost. Yun din yung par value niya. Tama? Cost and par value is 5 million. During the year, Mr. X sold his shares for 10 million in yung selling price. The book value of GHI shares per its latest available FS is 2.5 per share. Kung ano yung book value, yun din yung fair market value. Okay? So, 5,000 times 2.5, ilagay mo dyan, 12.5 million in yung fair market value. Punta tayo sa number 52. How much is the CGT Pag CGT, 15% of capital gain yan. So, ginawa ko, meron tayong selling price na 10 million, meron tayong cost na 5 million, meron tayong gain na 5 million. Okay? Gain times 15% kasi 15% ang CGT on unlisted shares. 750,000 yung CGT natin. Kaya sagot mo dyan sa number 52, letter C. Number 53, how much is the stock transaction tax? O, sagot mo na agad dyan is 0. Kasi unlisted to. Yung STT applicable lang yan sa listed shares. So, A for number 53. And then, how much daw yung DST? So, kapag nag-issue ka ng shares, yung DST mo dito is, well, initial issuance ng shares to, or original issuance, 1.5 pesos per 200 peso of par value. Tama ba class? Ang par value natin is 5 million. I-divide ko siya by 200, multiply ko by 1.5. Ibig sabihin, 375,000 yung DST natin. Okay? Sige. Tama lang. So, that is... So, dito ay... Sorry. Dito ay... Anong nangyari? Bumili ka ng shares. Ulitin natin. Hindi pala to original issuance. Bumili ka ng shares and then binenta mo siya. Okay? So, ang tanong is DST on the sale of shares or subsequent issuance na yun. Okay? Kasi yung original, nung binili mo siya. Nung binenta mo siya, yun yung subsequent. Kaya ang rule natin is 1.5 pesos for every 200 of par value. 5 million divided by 200 times 1.5, 37,500, letter B for number 54. Okay? 37,500. Alright, so ayusin natin. 37,500 DST. Number 55, how much is the donor's tax? Meron ba donor's tax yan, sir? Meron. Kasi meron tayong transfer for insufficient consideration. Yung fair market value ng shares na binenta natin is 12.5 million. Paano ulit na-compute, sir, yung 12.5? 5,000 shares times yung book value per share na 2.5. Compare mo yan sa selling price, mas mababa yung selling price, meron tayong transfer for insufficient consideration, or TFIC na 2.5 million. Don't forget na i-minus yung 250,000 exempt before ka mag-compute ang donor's tax due. Taxable natin is 250 times 6%. Donor's tax natin, 135,000. Letter B for number 55. Number 56, assume that Mr. X donated the 5,000 shares instead of selling them. So in this case, dinonate na lang daw lahat ng shares instead na ibenta. So ang gagawin ko dyan, yung gross gift mo is equal to fair market value, 2.5 million. Sorry, 12.5 million. Minus mo 250,000 exempt, yung taxable mo is 12,250 times 6%. Donor's tax natin 735,000. Letter C for number 56. Okay. And then 57, an individual taxpayer reported the following during the year. How much daw yung basis? What is the correct basis for VAT registration? Para malaman natin if magiging registrable na ba siya or mandatory registration. Sales from hardware store, which is domestic sales, kasama yan, 2 million. And then export sales, kasi vatable din ng export sales, 0% nga lang, pero kasama yan sa basis natin, 1.5. Sales from agricultural products in its original state, exempt yan, kung isama yan, hindi yan taxable. Receipts from passenger jeepney, pag mga transport of passengers, CCT yan eh. So, section 117, huwag mo isama yan sa VAT, okay? So, ibig sabihin, ang basis natin, 2 million plus 1.5, 3.5 million, letter C. In this case, sumobra ka na sa 3 million, VAT registrable ka na. Okay? Mandatory registration. 58. Which of the following is required to register under the VAT system? Yung A and C, hindi yan required. Kasi hindi naman, yung A hindi nag-exceed ng 3 million, walang problema. Yung domestic carriers naman, letter C, hindi mo gumatter yung 3 million kasi CCT yan subject. Okay? Yung letter D naman, even though nag-exceed ng 3 million, pero take note, kapag radio and TV, ang threshold natin is 10 million, hindi 3 million. Letter B dito, mandatory or required na yan, mandatory registration na yan. Any person engaged in vatable transactions whose annual gross sales exceeded 3 million. Letter B for number 58. Okay, so doon naman tayo sa estate tax. Ito yung estate tax natin. Sige. Mr. Y, married under CPG. Take note, CPG tayo. Yun yung mga rules na ipa-follow natin. Died on April 1. He left the following properties and obligations. Properties, house and lot in Taguig, family home, 1,350,000. So, CPG to, no? So, ibig sabihin, okay, so meron tayong conjugal, ayan, 1,350, conjugal tayo. Pag silent, syempre, conjugal yan, 1,350,000. Farm in Batangas, pag silent, conjugal tayo, 1.8 million. Investment in PLDT shares, gross estate na conjugal din yan, 400. As well as yung cash, personal properties, 160, conjugal din yan. As well as yung cash in bank natin na 200,000. Apartment donated to Mr. Y during marriage. So, gratuitous yan, exclusive. Yan lang exclusive natin yung apartment. Add natin lahat yan. Exclusive gross estate, 7 million. Conjugal gross estate, 3,910. And total gross estate, 10,910. Ang tanong sa atin, sa number 59, conjugal gross estate, 3,910,000. Letter B tayo for number 59. Number 60, total ordinary deductions. So, ganito gawin natin. So, meron tayong, dito yung ordinary deductions natin. Let's continue reading. Meron tayong unpaid mortgage on apartment. So, meron, siyempre, mirror mo siya. Kung yung apartment mo is exclusive, yung unpaid mortgage dyan, exclusive din. Meron kang unpaid mortgage on farm. Take note, yung farm natin is conjugal. Conjugal din dapat yung ordinary deductions dyan. And then, unpaid income tax. Pag silent, siyempre, conjugal yan. Pag tinutal natin yung class, ang tanong kasi total ordinary deductions, 100 plus 140 plus 24, 264,000. Letter C for number 60. Okay, 10 items to go. Next, share of surviving spouse. So, pag tinuloy natin yung computation natin, ito yung conjugal gross estate minus yung deductions, makukuha mo 3,746. Yan yung basis natin ng share of surviving spouse. Divide mo by 2, share of surviving spouse, 1,873,000. Letter A for number 61. Number 62, estate tax due. So, ang ginawa ko dito, class, don't forget na meron tayong mga special deductions. Family home natin, ang actual is 1,350. Pero take note, conjugal yun eh. Okay, divide mo by 2, 675,000 yan. Ang maximum mo, 10 million. Whichever is lower, 675,000 yung family home natin. Standard deduction, always 5 million yan. Don't forget to deduct yung share of surviving spouse na 1,873. Therefore, net taxable estate mo is 3,098,000. Multiply natin by 6%, estate tax due, 185,880. So, sagot mo class sa number 62, estate tax due is letter B, 185,880. Alright, and then last, long problem natin. Okay, 63 to 70. Ayan, so income tax tayo. Ito yung solution natin. So, let's see. CPA Corporation, a domestic corporation in its 5th year of operations. So, ibig sabihin nun, kapag 5th year na, or at least 4th year, subject na agad sa 2% MSIT yan. It provided the following data. Okay, so compute natin class yung income tax natin dito. So, we have sales na 20 million. Ito siya nilagay. So, meron tayong 20 million na sales. Cost of sales, 5 million, minus natin yan. And then, salaries of employees, net of payroll deductions. Add back natin yan. 3 million plus 350. That's 5,350,000. Salaries expense, nilagay ko yan sa allowable deductions natin. Fringe benefits given to rank and file employees, 1,040,000. So, ito yung fringe benefits natin. Siyempre, part din ng allowable deductions natin yan. And managerial employees, 325,000. Take note na ang subject lang sa FBT, yung given to managerial employees. So, ang ginawa ko sa number 63, yung binigay natin sa managerial employees, 325,000. Divide natin by 65%, times 35%, yung FBT natin dito is 175,000. Tingin ka dun sa question number 65, FBT 175,000, letter B sa number 65. Okay, sige. So, let's continue yung given. Next natin is year. Okay, year natin dyan nakalagay is 550,000. Alright, so year is 550. Ito siya. Okay, so may year. Ito, 550. Pero alam natin class na may limit yung year eh. So, merong sales dito kapag sale of goods, alam natin is 0.5%. So, 20 million times 0.5%. Ang limit ng year natin is 100,000. Siyempre, whichever is lower yan. So, ang undeductible year lang natin is 100,000. And by the way pala class, balik tayo sa fringe benefits. Yung FBT na yung FBT na 175,000, part din yan ng allowable deductions natin. Okay? So, again, sa year, ang limit natin is 100, actual is 550, ang deductible lang is 100,000. Next natin, depreciation expense na 1.2 million, syempre deductible yan. Bad debt expense, 1/3 written off during the year. So, we know kapag bad debt expense, rent expense ay 1.2, depreciation expense ay 700, bad debt expense, ang deductible lang yun ni-write off natin. How much yung total bad debt expense? 105,000. 1/3 daw ay ni-write off natin. Ibig sabihin, yung 2/3, hindi yan deductible. Okay? And then, interest expense on bank loan, 400,000. Pero again, meron tayong non-deductible interest expense, which is 20 of gross up interest income. Baba ka muna sa baba mo ng konti, nakita mo yung interest income from peso bank deposit, nakita mo yun? Nakalagay net of final withholding tax na 100,000. Alright? So, yun yung multiply natin ng 20% to get the non-deductible interest expense. Kaya lang, naka-net of FWT siya. So, ginawa ko, 100,000, dinivide ko by 80%. Okay? Minultiply ko by 20%. So, yung non-deductible interest expense is 25. Nawan yan? Kasi yung given sa atin na 100,000, naka-net daw of FWT. Gross up mo muna, times 20%, yun yung non-deductible interest expense. So, ang deductible interest expense mo lang is 400 minus 25 or 375,000. Okay? Now, net taxable income mo dyan is 5,734,000. Next. Okay, so meron tayong other income. Interest expense on loan from related party. So, we know class kapag related party, yung expense mo non-deductible yung 100,000 na yan. Dividends received from domestic corporation, that's exempt. Dividends received from RFC, ordinary income yan, kaya nilagay ko siya dito. Okay, 30,000. And then liquidating dividend, ang total dividend na liquidating is 100, ang cost natin is 96, yung difference na 4,000, yun lang yung magiging part of our gross income. Kaya nilagay ko dyan, liquidating dividend na 4,000. So, meron tayong sales minus cost of sales, plus dividend from RFC, plus liquidating dividend. Take note class, ang gross income natin dito is 15,034,000. Okay, interest income from peso bank deposit. So, subject to final tax yan. So, balik ka dito. 100,000 yan, divide natin by 80% times 20% FWT. Final tax natin ng interest is 25,000. Royalty income, syempre, pag silent dyan, gross ang assumption natin dyan. So, 125,000 times 20%, royalty mo is 25. Yung total final tax mo dyan is 50,000. Punta ka sa number 63, final withholding taxes on passive income, letter D, 50,000. Okay, so let's continue reading. Gain from sale of property. Real property not used in business. So, meron tayong selling price. Siyempre, selling price or fair market value, whichever is higher, times mo sa 6%. Yung CGT natin on sale of real property, 10 million times 6%, 600,000. Okay? And then, domestic non-listed shares held as capital asset, gain na yung given sa atin. So, hindi mo na kailangan mag-compute ng gain. That's 15%. 100,000 times 15%. So, that is 15,000 CGT on sale of shares. Ang total natin ng CGT is 615,000. For number 64, capital gains tax, letter C, 615,000. So take note na hindi ko sinama yung domestic listed shares because again, subject yan sa STT, which is a form of other percentage tax. Alright, and then balik tayo dito sa computation natin. Meron tayong net taxable income na 5,734,000. So from there, yung total assets excluding land, 120 million. So, nag-exceed ng threshold na 1 million. Net taxable income, nag-exceed din ng 5 million threshold. So, hindi ka pwede mag-20%. 25% tayo. RSIT mo is 1,433,500. And yung MSIT natin, if you compare yung 15,034,000, okay, times 2%, ito yung gross income natin times 2%, actually, MSIT natin dito is 300,680. Okay? So, punta ka sa number 69. MSIT, 2% ng 15,034,000, 600,680. Letter D yung MSIT natin for number 69. Letter D or dog. RSIT natin, balik tayo dito. RSIT natin is 1,433,500. For number 68, RSIT, letter A, 1,433,500. Okay. And then, ano pa tanong sa atin? Number 67, yung net taxable income, na-compute na natin siya earlier, 5,734,000, letter A for number 67. And then, 70, income tax payable. So, RSIT versus MSIT, mas mataas yung RSIT natin, 1,433,500. Take note na income tax payable. So, i-minus natin yung CWT. Nakita nyo sa last part, mayroong CWT, third to the last item na 68. I-minus natin siya. Second to the last item, 30,000, minus mo din siya. We get the income tax payable, 1,335,500. For number 70, that's letter A. Pero meron pa tayo din sa sagutan, number 66. Number 66, nakalagay yung class, yung non-deductible expenses. Actually, apat yung non-deductible expenses natin. Ano yan, sir? So, sulat ko dito. Yeah, underline ko na lang. So, yung first natin, yung year, Tama ba? Yung actual year natin is 550. Yung limit is 100. Tama ba? Yung difference sila na 450. Okay? Non-deductible yan. So, ibabox ko. Non-deductible tong 450. Okay? And then, ano pa? Yung non-deductible natin dito, yung sa budget expense, if you recall, ang total budget expense natin is 105,000. 1/3 lang yung ni-write off. Ibig sabihin yung 2/3, non-deductible yan. Okay, ibabox ko. So, dalawa na. Next is yung non-deductible interest expense. If you remember, ang total interest expense natin is 400, yung non-deductible is 25. So, ibabox ko yan, non-deductible din siya. And last one, yung interest expense on loan from related party, nasa middle portion ng given, 100,000 yun. Add natin yung apat. Yung year na 450,000, budget expense na 70, interest expense sa 25, and interest expense on related party 100. Pag inad natin lahat yan, you will get 645,000 non-deductible expenses for number 66 is letter D. Okay, so that's for tax final reports.